Welcome back to another season of Discovery Phase 2 gold making video. In this one, I'm going to be showing you the best raw gold farm to do in Phase 2. Before we get into it, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone that has gotten a copy of my gold guide. So where the farm is located is in Stranglethorn Valley. So at this location right here, you're going to find a bunch of basilisks. And what they actually drop are some really good grey items that vendor for a lot of gold. As you can see, 7 silver, 6 silver, 3 silver and 3 silver, and you get these pretty much every single kill. On top of that, they're skinnable, so I'd highly recommend bringing skinning. Because we're going to be in STV, I'd recommend coming here and turning to opt out of the PvP event in case it comes on whilst you're doing the farm. So these are the mobs that we're going to be farming, the Cold Eye Basilisks. And you're going to be making a lot of raw gold from farming these guys. On top of the raw gold that you get from vendoring the greys, they do actually drop a decent amount of BOEs that you can also sell on the auction house, or you can just straight up vendor for even more gold. Same with the skinning, you could also sell the skinning materials up on the auction house, or if you just want to go for straight raw gold, you can also just straight up vendor those and make even more raw gold per hour whilst doing this farm. This is a really easy farm to do. The mobs only melee you and they don't hit hard whatsoever. The best thing about this is how common the grey items are to drop. Pretty much every single kill you're going to be getting 1 or 2 of the grey items, and they add up very quickly. When I was doing this, I had zero competition. I did this for a couple of hours just to test out how much raw gold you make per hour and if it was worth doing, and it's definitely worth doing. It's probably the best raw gold farm that you can actually do in Phase 2 at the moment. It's really good for raw gold. So if your goal is to just make raw gold and not mess around with the auction house, I'd highly recommend coming here and giving this gold farm a go. It is actually really good. Now I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like messing around with the auction house at all, so this video is for you guys. Maybe this will help you get your mount once you reach level 40. You could come here a bit lower than level 40, you come here like 38, 37 and grind on these mobs until you are level 40. This way, as soon as you hit level 40, you'll have enough raw gold to actually go ahead and buy your mount straight up and be ready to go once you are at level 40. On top of that, there is a few herbalism nodes that spawn around this location. So if you would want to pick another profession with skinning, I'd highly recommend herbalism. It works really good with this farm because we're out in the open world and there is a bunch of herbalism nodes that do spawn around this location. As you can see just there was one that was just spawned. But you do, and I highly recommend having skinning when doing this farm, especially for the raw gold. Just by vendoring the leathers and the hides that you get from these mobs, it's going to increase your amount of raw gold by a decent amount. It's not required, but it will just add maybe like 5 to 10 gold per hour in raw gold from vendoring those materials that you skin off these mobs, because they are all skinnable. Now there's 2 main locations to actually farm these guys, out in the open part right here, and then there's a bunch of them spawned along the coastline. So if you run just a little bit north, you're going to come across the next spawn location, which is along the coastline, and this has a bunch more of them. So if you clear all the ones that are out in the open land first, you can head over to the coastline like right here. As you can see, there is more of these spawn. They're a bit lower level here too, so if you are leveling up, you might want to focus just on farming these guys. What I noticed though, if you just farm these guys and you're not too quick, you can actually farm the mobs from one side all the way to the end side, and by the time you get to the end, they will have already started respawning back at the front of this location. But obviously if you kill them very quick, you might have a little bit of downtime. That is why me personally, I'm running from the coast spot back to the open spot like on the fields. This way there's no downtime waiting for mobs to actually spawn. This is downtime moving from one location to the other, but they're very close together, so it's not much downtime whatsoever. So if you want to make some raw gold in Phase 2, come out and give this farm a go. I highly recommend it. Obviously there can be a bit of PvP if you're on a PvP server. If you're on a PvE server, you can opt out of the PvP event though, and this way there won't be any PvP whatsoever whilst doing this farm. However guys, that was it for this video. I just wanted to show a raw gold farm for everyone that is into raw gold farms. This is definitely the best raw gold farm you can do in phase 2 at the moment, and I'd highly recommend coming here and giving it a go. If you would like to learn more about making gold in Season of Discovery, you can check out my Season of Discovery Gold Guide. This goes over the best gold farms and gold making methods in Season of Discovery and is constantly updated. When you get this, you also get access to a private Discord where we help each other out with gold making and flipping and things like that. That'll be the first link down below in the description box, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.